Thanks, Marlo. I had to go. I was saying that I got home about 40 minutes ago. What a day. Hey, Shay, I haven't seen you in ages. Oh my gosh. I had to go out of state, take care of some stuff that went well. And then I had got home about 40 minutes ago. Decided to, go live and talk about this documentary on a real case. And I was telling everybody on the Zoom that was on my drive. So people that like my drives, if you're members, you can still go on my drives, because I don't always televise every one of them, right? Anyway, and now my lips are chapped again. Look at that. I go out in the cold and then my lips get chapped. It's like never ending. Never ending. So Natalia Grace, and I remember people asked me about Natalia Grace. Where you been, Shay? Good to see you. I don't know if we have the right thumbnail. I hope we do have the right thumbnail, because the wrong one was showing on the thing. But Natalia Grace is this. Let me tell you. Okay. You know the movie Orphan? Orphan is supposed to be either loosely based on this case, and I don't know if it was actually, but there's parallels to this case. I've watched the movie Orphan, and that's about people that adopted a child, and they thought it was a child, but it ended up being an adult, and not just an adult. It was a really, in the movie Orphan, like seriously disturbed adult. So Natalia Grace, we covered it, I believe when the parents were arrested in the mountains. Oh, really? When they were first arrested, and remember it said that they had put their adopted daughter into an apartment or something on her own, and then people kept asking me about the case, and I would look at bits and pieces of it, but I was really never I think I did get into it somewhat, but not I didn't know the things I know now. So last night we had a movie night and we watched Elvis, but I fell asleep. And then when I got up, I just looked for the documentaries, and it showed the curious case of Natalia Grace. So I was like, okay, well, I've got to do some busy work on the computer and stuff. I have 2 monitors. I'll put one over here, and I'll do some work over here. It's only 45 minutes long each episode. So I put on the first episode, Meet the Barnetts. I didn't remember that this case takes place in Indiana. I didn't know that their oldest child was like a prodigy. So the Barnetts are this couple. Now, I could tell you there are little things I noticed in there, like when the father's talking about how happy their marriage was. There's a lot of body language in the pictures where the wife is pulling away from the husband. You can see, sometimes you can see things in pictures. Maybe sometimes it's innocent, but other times if it's happening all the time, she didn't really look thrilled and happy in the pictures, even the ones that he said that they were so happy in. And she seemed like she was pushing away from him. I don't know. So he said that they were living in a McMansion in this very nice area of Indiana. And they show their driveway where they have this big Chevy Suburban. They have a Lamborghini. They have, I don't know if it was a Porsche. Four very high-end cars, okay? He said they had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank account. They never said what he did for a living, not in the first episode. But they showed this son. And at first he said the son had autism. Then he said the son had Asperger's. Then he said the son was doing quantum mechanics and quantum math. And he was solving these equations that were crazy. And he had whiteboards all over the place. And then they show him doing a TED Talk. And then they show him on 60 Minutes. And then the mother wrote a book called Spark. Okay? So he's like, we were sailing on top of the world. But it's not a biased documentary because they have the complete other side, okay? So right away you see the father, then now, but then he says his life just changed within like moments of adopting this child, girl, Natalia Grace. They show you at times he is just slamming his fist into the floor. So they have people that come on in the very beginning, and they're like, they have his mother come on, his sister, their neighbor, who all say like these were the best parents. It was like jackpot, okay? But then they have other people come on and say, you know, that they were the worst parents for her. They abused her. They did this, they did that. So it's going to show both sides of this. So the first episode, they tell you about, you know, like they were married, I think like 15 years, and they had, their kids were like 12. Let me see what it was. 12, 10, and 6. Yeah, 12, 10, and 6. 3 boys. And they were going to adopt a girl from Haiti. And then the earthquake came in Haiti, and they stopped all the adoptions. So since they had like their whole, I don't know whether they had a website, but they had something with their biography and everything about wanting to adopt. And I don't know if it was the same, it had to be the same adoption agency they were working in. But the weird thing is, like, when they went there, they didn't even know what it was. Like, they thought it was wrong. So they said that after they called off the Haiti adoptions, you know, halted those, then this Florida adoption agency calls and they say, look, we got something here, but you're going to have to make a decision like today or within one day. And what it was is, hi, it's Bink. I missed you today. I was on the Zoom later on when I was out. So they say, you're going to have to make a decision today. And they show a picture of the little girl, and they show her birth certificate from the Ukraine. And they say, oh, gosh, yes, let's do this, right? So they jump on a flight. They take the boys with them. They get the address, and they go to this adoption agency, which he said was like in a really weird place. Oh, great. That's great. That's great, Liza. Hi, Captain Lee. Hey, everyone. Oh, okay. All right, Captain Lee. So they go to this adoption agency, and they said that it was in a kind of a weird place in Florida, and they said it was like a house that was just had an adoption agency sign outside, and he kept asking the wife, check the address because this feels wrong, even though it had a sign outside, right? So they go in there, and they said, oh, come on in. Natalia Grace will be right here. And they said they were waiting. They were filling out paperwork and waiting, and they were looking through a keyhole, and they see another couple drop her off. And this is what they're told, that like another couple had her. They didn't elaborate on the first episode, and they were giving her back. And they were thinking, oh, these bastards, right? Why would they do this to this little girl? And they didn't know what to expect, but he said she came running in the room, Mommy, Mommy, Daddy, Daddy, right? Perfect. So they're staying in Florida. They go to Disney World, and then they go back to the hotel. Now, the little girl is supposed to be 6 years old, and they have a 6-year-old son, and they think, oh, great, we'll raise them like twins. You know, they'll be like twins. And so she goes to the hotel, and he says she hears like something. His wife is calling him into the bathroom, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And she goes, she has a look of like horror on her face, and she says, "Look down, look down." So this child they think is a little kid, they said has full hair down there, okay? So they start looking up on the computer, what's the youngest that you could have that? And it's saying 8 years old. So now they're thinking like, oh my gosh, did they get her age wrong? But they don't mention then like calling the adoption agency or anything. They just think like, all right, well, what are we going to do? She's just maybe, I don't know. They just go with it. And a little while later, they find out that she has her period, and she's been using like socks and hiding them in her room. So they found that. And so they're like, okay, this is weird now. What the heck is going on? So they start like recording her, and they're like, you're lying to us. Like, what's going on? And then she had this very rare type of dwarfism. But somehow they managed to find another little girl that was supposed to be about her age in Indiana that had it. And they arranged a play date. And the father says, like, when she went to that play date, you could see Natalia's face, like her cheekbones were pronounced. And she kind of saw that looking at the other little girl, you could see she had a very little girl face. So she said, like, she puffed air into her cheeks right then and there. And he shows a picture of it. And he says it was like, she was like, oh gosh, they got me. And a couple of times he says that, like, they got me. So at this point now, it's only like 10 days into the adoption. And she's really went from being this very obedient girl to when like this stuff is coming out, he said like she folded her hands, her arms across her chest, and it changed. And she would do like all kinds of like things, like every time they went somewhere in the car, they had a van, and she would sit in the third row seat with the 6-year-old, and she would like torment him. And she would urinate on him. She would go to the bathroom in her pants and then take it out and smear it on all kinds of surfaces in the car, stuff like this. And then you'd see like, they'd say, why are you doing this, you know? And she didn't really say that much, okay, but she was just tormenting the kids. Another thing she would do is she would take one of their toys that say they liked, a Matchbox car or something small, something she could hang on to, and she'd hang on to it until they were somewhere like a busy street. And then she would drop the toy into the street to try and make the kid dart into the street and possibly get hit by a car. Then she began to take knives from the kitchen, and allegedly they found knives in a room, and they said, what are these? What are you doing? And she said, oh, I'm going to kill you all. Okay? So she said she was going to kill them. And then one day the mother's going to drink her coffee, and it tastes like Pledge. Because it is. She put Pledge in the mother's coffee. Another time, they heard some kind of commotion coming from a room. He said, what are you doing? She said, I'm waiting till you fall asleep. And then I'm going to kill you, or so. You know, it was craziness. Okay. So the father's saying that if I would have known, like, what she did to us, what she did to our marriage, what she did to our life, that I went from having hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, 4 expensive cars in my driveway, living in a McMansion, to literally, I forget the number of years he said, but it wasn't that many, having 37 cents in my bank account, and all of my life's possessions in a backpack, and my car. So now they flash forward, they go back and forth, and they show you the prodigy son now, who must be, I don't know, 22 or so. And they say that he's living in his father's basement. And when I tell you that he's living in his father's basement, when you see how this child that was on 60 Minutes, this child that was, I believe he was like accepted to college and stuff, he was in programs all over the place. He is literally living in a basement. And it is a cement floor, cement walls, and there's a bed there. It looks damp. It looks horrendous. And he starts to tell about his version of this. So okay. Bright Day. I'm not muted, Bright Day. Oh, you didn't have to get rid of that. It's okay. I'll answer. It's okay. Bright Day. Why always so lost? I'm not lost. I'm not muted. Can't find your way. Can't find my chat. You know, Bright Day, if you say always, well, that means then you're always watching me. Because if you can say I'm always doing something, you must always be watching me, which makes you a fan. So thank you. Thank you. You must be watching me a lot. On every show. So you watch every show. Thank you so much, Bright Day. And then why always so out of it always? You should try to get, try to use another word. Maybe try Grammarly or something. It'll alert you that you're using one word excessively. That will help you if you're trying to write intelligently, okay? You won't answer. Well, boom, I answered. And I'm not in your echo chamber here. Boom, we don't have an echo chamber. So there you go, Bright Day. Thanks for watching us, always. You don't have to delete, right? I'll answer. They just want to be in their echo chamber. Sorry, we're not in echo chamber over here, Bright Day, but thanks for watching us always. Anyway, so the kid says, I was excited. My mother was going to adopt, my parents were going to adopt this little girl. Yes, thought it would be great, a great thing. And it wasn't. It wasn't a great thing. It was really, really bad for our, hi, Misbehave, how are you? It was really, really bad for our family. And it wasn't good. And now, I've changed a lot since you last saw me. And he has like really, really long hair now. Again, he's living in his father's basement. There is a whiteboard or something where he may be doing something, but something definitely happened to this family. And I just started to think, here's this like person that is not really a child, is an imposter, and you're just wondering how this all ties together, but it's a scary thing. And you hear the wife on the phone in the first episode, and she's saying, this is really serious. This is really serious. We are in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. And she's very conflicted about what's going on with this. Now, has anybody seen this? Because this is going to go on ID Discovery. Right now it's on HBO. Has anybody seen The Curious Case of Natalia Grace? Anyone? Anywhere? Hi, Rando. So, Rando, have you seen The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, or do you know the story of Natalia Grace? It's 6 episodes, and I want to watch another episode tonight after I get off of here. Yeah, you remember hearing about the case. So, it's just crazy, but the way they're telling it in this documentary, like, I never knew they had this prodigy as a son. I never knew they had, like, the amount of money that they had. I never knew any of that part of it. Let me see here. Hang on, let's see if there's court documents, because they were arrested. You know that, right? Let's see. Oh, the other thing, right? So when they went to the I forgot to tell you this one. When they went to meet with that other orphan, because they met with that little girl, and she's the one that I said she puffed her cheeks out, Natalia did. They interviewed her mother and her years later, and the little girl, who was a teenager now, said that, I can't believe that she was probably my age. She was probably a teenager when she wanted me to think she was my age as a child and playing with me. And the mother said, I thought, she doesn't look like she's a child, not like my child's age. And they never had any contact with them again. Okay? And then there were, the brother tells of a time that they knew someone that was born in the Ukraine or something, and they called them to come over, and they thought Natalia was going to be so happy because she hadn't heard anybody speaking in her native tongue, and they came over, and she just didn't even register with her. It's just crazy. So it was they were talking about that, but let me see here. And I know when I see pictures of Natalia Grace today that I did watch interviews of hers when we were talking about this case. So Michael and Christine Barnett is the couple that adopted her. Okay, and he went to trial. Let me see here when he went to trial. Okay, see, here is trying to get a photo here. So it was 2010 when she was adopted. And oh yeah, see, I know. I saw her on Dr. Phil. Okay. Let's see. they put her in, what year was it? Because we covered this on the show. Put her in an apartment in Indiana. And Natalia in court later said she stayed alive eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, ramen noodles, and occasional pizza. She was forced to move to a second apartment after a year because there were complaints about her disturbing behavior. Neighbors saw her struggling to take care of herself, and she was wearing dirty clothing, scuffed shoes, and she stunk of body odor. She was sitting at the table. Oh, she's sitting at the table reading a reading a Bible, and the mother's recording her and says, "What are you doing? Reading the Bible?" Yes, and she said to get rid of these evil thoughts. But I'm going to continue watching the documentary. I will continue to talk about what I see there, but I just want to see one thing here. Because there was a trial. So apparently a former prosecutor is saying that Natalia was left completely in the dark about the legal proceedings and nobody represented her in court. I'm trying to see. About the trial. Michael was found not guilty on 3 counts of neglect and conspiracy to commit neglect of a dependent. And the charges against Christina were dropped. But their lives, he said, they were destroyed. And I don't understand, because I don't know yet what he did for a living and what happened there. Let me see here. Let's see if I can get the... Okay, so Tippecanoe County. 3 years after the case was opened, the jury found Michael Barnett not guilty on 4 neglect charges in connection to his adopted daughter. He was acquitted of neglect of a dependent resulting in bodily injury, neglect of a dependent resulting in serious bodily injury, and conspiracy to commit neglect of a dependent. Michael Barnett and his now ex-wife, Kristen Barnett, were both charged in September of 2019. So that's, if we go back to September of 2019, that's when I covered this. With multiple counts of neglect related to their adopted daughter, Natalia. In 2012, the Barnetts had Natalia's age changed in the Marion County Probate Court from her real age of 8 to 22 and told the girl to say she was 22 if anyone asked. Court documents claimed that the pair rented an apartment for Natalia in Lafayette. Sorry. In 2013, left her there alone. Left her there alone while they moved out of the country with the rest of the family. Michael told detectives that his wife had told the child to tell others that she looks young, but she's actually 22. So that was, what they say? They did that in 2013, so that was 3 years after they adopted her. Sorry. I don't want to hold my sneezes in because I heard a horrible thing happen to somebody, like he ripped out something in his, I don't know, craziness. I want to get up. It's so very sad, the whole situation. I don't know. I mean, I have to see what's going on, right? What it should do. Sorry, I had a sneeze again. I was going to not blow your eardrums out. Okay, so let's go on with this now. That's one of the few pictures that she's actually snuggling into him, because it's not what the other pictures are like that they show in the documentary. But you see how she can look like a child at times, right? And she does look a lot different, like when she's on Dr. Phil. So she was probably a young teenager, maybe. I don't know if she was 22 when they got her the apartment. And I do now remember that episode of Dr. Phil. I don't remember exactly what the outcome was, but I remember her on that episode of Dr. Phil. My computer is locking up over here, so I'm trying to get some other stuff, but it wants to lock up. Oh, okay, here it goes. Don't lock up, Mr. Computer, please. hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah, let me do the task manager. I'm going to shut some of this stuff down. Sorry about that. Hey, brighter days. Bright days. How you doing? Okay. I'm shutting some things down. Okay, let's see if we have any luck on that now. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I have too many tabs open. All right. Okay. I just want to get off of here. Let me just get a task manager. I'm just going to shut Chrome down. It's preparing my security options. I'll just shut Chrome down and we'll start it up again and we'll be fine. We won't lose the life. I'll come right back. I'll be right here. I'll come right back. That's a 12. I got some new paint brushes. Can't wait to paint. I love these. These have little colored tips. Okay, let me cut this down. Stop that. Oh no. Just noticed something. Wash out my brushes over there. All right, let me do this again. I'm so sorry. So sorry. You know, it's so nice when you get it. Like, paint those other. Okay, now I've got a new shoot. I've got a new shoot. No, I just did something silly. I just restarted Chrome and then I opened it and restored it all, which I don't want to do because that just opened it with all the tabs again. So hold on, I'm going to open up a fresh version. Here we go, with no tabs open. I'll open you guys up first. Okay, here we go, guys. Very sorry. I am so sorry. Yeah, sometimes computer problems happen. They do. Okay, I'm back now. I am very sorry. Okay. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, that's not good. Hi, little lady. Hi, everybody. Okay, I'm back now. Well, now let's get back into this. Oh, boy. This is crazy. Natalia Grace. Okay, here we go. So let's see where, like, what is going on? Where is Natalia now, right? And where her mother so far has not been in the documentary, so I wonder why that is, right? Let me see why the mother is not in the documentary, okay? Why is Kristen Barnett? Oh, it's automatically her. Okay. What happened to Kristen Barnett? Okay, so it says that Natalie's story shocked the crime viewers. Blah, blah, blah. The pair alleged that the Ukraine native was actually an adult instead of a child when they adopted her in 2010. Okay. Kristen doesn't show up as much in the series as Michael does, and viewers want to know why. So why? Let's see. Okay. Kristen has been living in Florida, and Michael is still in Indiana. Okay, but there's a lot of people here in the comments saying bad things. They said, I think Christine, but I think they mean Kristen, is a really horrible person and brainwashed everyone around her, including Natalia, her kids, and her ex-husband. The ex-husband was an adult and unfortunately didn't see through her lies. However, that was his choice to believe her. I don't understand how she was immune to prosecution because her intent was not good from the beginning. The videos of the parents calling Natalia a liar over and over, confusing her to get the results they wanted, and she was a child, are totally disgusting. Who protects children in these situations? Someone said maybe Kristen was terrible, but we only hear the story from Michael, so who knows? He lies a lot. Hang on. He lies a lot, and I don't think he is innocent. He is throwing his ex-wife under the bus to save himself. I am not buying we are all abused by Kristen's story. He was a willing participant and contributed to torture, he said. They said in the comments. Okay, now, ouch. Hold on a second here. Okay, somebody has said that Michael Barnett was her boss until the end of 2022. Ask me anything. Yeah, how do we know that? So there's a lot of comments about this documentary. I am going to watch some more of it. If you're a member of Patreon, you want to watch it with us, you just have to shoot me an email. But we are going to be watching this. And then I'll be able to speak more about what's in the documentary, right? What else? I just want to see what else has been going on today here. Brianna has a YouTube channel. Oh, apparently Brianna's upset because her 6-year-old's voice is on the some of the calls, and she's upset that the calls are released. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Okay. So yeah, they did say something about, I just saw Gypsy Blanchard is coming out with a book. How can she write a book? I thought there's a law against that, isn't there? Conversations on the Eve of Freedom. How is she able to write a book? New release. Gypsy Rose Blanchard discovered that her whole life was a lie. After 8.5 years of incarceration, she can finally tell you the truth with this exclusive collection of interview transcripts and journal entries, plus her own illustrations and photos. How can she do that? She's not supposed to profit off of a crime that she's involved in. Right? Let me see. Created with writers. Oh my gosh. Melissa Moore and Michelle Matrashani. That might be a relative of mine, and I'm not joking. She's a New York Times best-selling editor. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Okay. Apparently I must know her already because I'm already following her. That's interesting. Okay. Now I really feel like I'm losing my mind. All right. Anyway, let's go on to the next thing. Let's see here. So she has this book coming out, but how does that work with... Here's how it's being promoted on social media. Unlike several fake Blanchard profiles created at the height of a bizarre, highly publicized case, somebody is operating a TikTok for her and a verified Instagram. So somebody is operating a TikTok for Gypsy, which has 279,000 followers, a verified Instagram that has 35,700 followers, a Facebook of 1,900, and a Twitter of 1,600 as she awaits her release. Her parole officer signed off on the post-release plan for her work, but he told her to make sure she doesn't take advantage of it. The book, published by Ben Bella Books and distributed by Penguin Random House. Oh my gosh. Okay, I can go. Yeah. So I wonder how. Let me just see something. Okay, there is Son of Sam laws prohibit criminals from profiting from media about their crimes. California law barred a conviction. Let me see here. There is it. But there's another, it's another, hold on a minute. There's another name for it. Let me see here. Supreme Court reasoned New York law, the autobiography. Let me see here. I don't know. There was. That's not the one I'm thinking of. There's another. Oh gosh, what is it? It's the Slayers. Let me see. What is it? The Slayer rule. In trust and estates law, the Slayer rule says that a murderer cannot retain a property interest in the victim's estate. The Slayer rule, but it also says something about Slayer statutes preventing killers from profiting from their crimes here. Most states have laws that prevent someone who has intentionally killed another individual from being able to inherit any property from their victim in general. Okay, and then they also have, I know that a number of states also go beyond the basic rule, barring a killer from being able to inherit from their victim by prohibiting the killer from serving in any sort of fiduciary role. Those roles, okay. But there's also... Let me see here. Profit. Okay, let me see here. See, Gypsy Rose Blanchard isn't making any money from the act, but her family says she was supposed to. So that's about some documentary, and they say that she's not making any money from it, but her family said she was supposed to. Interesting. So that's something to look into, right? Let me see about Natalia Grace over here. Okay, so on a Good Morning America interview, Michael Barnett claimed in 2019 that he and his wife were told by doctors that Natalia is a sociopath and that she's a con artist and you are all in danger. In 2013, they moved to Canada and they left Natalia in a rented apartment in Lafayette, Indiana. Let's see here. Okay. Natalia is still living in Indiana, and she even appeared on Dr. Phil in November of 2019 with a family that took her in when she was placed in her apartment. Antoine and Cynthia Mans spoke during the interview, noting that they were not concerned in any way. We have other children. We have a grandson. Natalia does nothing but love her siblings and her nephew. Okay, and I'm going to quote Natalia in the trial in 2022. Now, see, I would have liked to watch that if they televised that in Indiana, saying, and I quote, "I wanted to be with the Barnetts. I wanted to live with them. As of 2023, she's still alive, still living in Indiana. Natalia is active on TikTok. And then I quote her saying, "It's very frustrating to hear everything that's being said from Kristen and Michael, because I already don't know who I am, and I want to know who I am, what happened to me. But I'm hearing all this stuff that never actually happened from Kristen and Michael, and people are believing what Kristen and Michael are saying without even hearing my side." Then said, "Y'all have heard Kristen and Michael and what they have to say, but you need to hear both sides in order to know what happens." But they are going to show that. What is this? Hold on a second, I've got to check one thing here. What are they saying about Scott Peterson? Is this a joke? Somebody is really losing their minds. That is such crazy stuff. Okay. Let me see something here. So we're going to finish watching. I got to finish watching Natalia Barnett. So that's it for the first episode. Very good episode. You should watch it. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to see if there's anything else going on that I want to talk about before we go. Here's something that I do want to talk about. Let me see here. Where was this? Pacifica. So apparently, where did this happen? A 46-year-old man suspected of stabbing 2 people early Thursday morning was found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound in Mendocino County. Authorities said Jason Gilwater fatally stabbed a man and wounded a woman at a home in the 200 block of Naomi Avenue in Pacifica's Valamar neighborhood. I believe this was his his ex-wife, her boyfriend, and let's see, is she... Police officers immediately gun violence. We are deeply saddened by this and keeping the family members and Pacifica community in our hearts and prayers. But what happened? I think they said that. And he was a firefighter paramedic. Critically injured the ex-wife and killed her boyfriend. Crazy, and that's just coming in, so there's not really a lot of information about it. Let's see here. Around 1:45 p.m., California Highway Patrol officers located Gillian Waters' vehicle in Ukiah, and they found him dead of a self-inflicted gunshot. And let's see here. Crazy. So yeah, that's a not so many of these things happening, right? It's crazy. An elderly woman was saved inside a burning pickup truck in Michigan. Oh, that's good news, right? Okay, we've got almost everything else. So, yeah, I'm going to go watch some more of that documentary and unwind a little bit. If you want to watch it with us, you can come in the Zoom. And if you're not, in Slack, you can email. So, what do I do here? Okay. What are you talking about? We have more than 2 likes. We have more than 2 likes, Bink, but we could use some more. Refresh your, look, do a refresh. Can you guys hit the likes a little more so Evie is okay? Refresh it, Evie. Can we hit the likes a little more, please, for Evie? If you like Evie, hit the likes. There, we got one more. If you like Evie, please hit the likes. Oh, you're going to bed, Julie? We got 2 more likes. I'm going to play cookies. You bet you. You bet. You bet. You better. Okay, now, no, you got even more than that, Pink. Go turn it over again. So I'm gonna watch this, but wow, I've had an exhausting day. I've got a lot of work to do tomorrow too, around here and exhausting. And I want to do some watercolor too. Hi, video reel. Good. Now we've got more likes. Let's have some more likes. More likes. Give us as many likes as possible. Video reel. Can you give us some more likes? Oh, I'm not yet ending yet, Julie. No, no, no. Yeah, no, we got more than that. We've got more than that. See if you can. We've got some more likes. A few more likes would be nice. Miami High Farm. I tried Icer, it doesn't work. Oh, love you too, Liza. I love you too. Chiller, thriller. Yeah, that's good. Who said that? Emmy. God. Chiller. Okay. H E Well, that's it, Rich. Isn't it, Rich? Don't you agree? Relic? Relic. There we go. We got it. We did it. We did it. Is it don't you need sugar to put in a jar? high 61, yeah. Jaguars. Okay. Thank you, high 61. A jaguar. Jackalopes. Jackalope. What did Tigger call them? Jaguars. Ragu. I found another 5 pounds of flour in the other pantry, Kevin. I don't think Jimmy counted that one. Oh, jaguar. You have way too much? Kevin made me buy extra. Sausage cheese bread. I haven't made bread in a long time. It's almost time for Easter bread. I never even made Easter bread last time. I don't know why. I don't know why. Too busy. I gotta stop and smell the roses, you know? We need a 4-letter word. It's not tune. Watching you, watching me, watching those lights go up. Oh, Pinto. How about Pinto? Oh, onto. I got into. Onto. Yeah, right. We're onto it. Okay. I tried on it. It doesn't work. Very good, Hi. How come you're so good at these word games, Hi? All right, I think that's what I'm going to say to you guys is good night. Good night. What happened? How come I'm so close to the camera now? What's going on? Anyway, I got to stop. I had to stop getting my lips chapped and then biting them. It's a terrible, terrible thing, but every time I go out in the cold, I do it. Then my lips look like crazy. All right. I will see you tomorrow. I hope, God willing. Be good. God bless. Prayers. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good.